My name is Isla Davenport, and for most of my life I believed in balance. Work hard, get rewarded, follow the rules, earn respect, do the right thing, and life will meet you halfway. I believed in that, until the day my younger sister got a full scholarship to the same university I applied to, and I got nothing. And the worst part? I had better grades. The spring of senior year was always supposed to feel like freedom. Finals, prom, yearbook signings, goodbye parties. There was so much buzz in the hallways of Claremont High you could practically smell dreams in the air. Everyone was waiting for acceptance letters, scholarship announcements, the future. And I was no different. I'd applied to 6 schools, 3 in Ontario, 3 out of province, but my top choice? The University of Toronto. I'd dreamed of walking those halls since I was 12. I even had a Pinterest board full of photos of Robarts Library and the Quad in the fall. I had a 4.2 GPA, president of the student council, a science fair win under my belt, volunteering hours through the roof. Every teacher loved me. So when I opened my acceptance letter and saw the congratulations, I screamed, literally, like a movie scene. My parents hugged me, my sister clapped, my dad took a photo. It was everything. Until the money part came in. It was late April when the scholarship decisions arrived. I remember it clearly because it was also the day my sister Elle got her acceptance too. Elle was a year younger than me, more spontaneous, artsy, the kind of girl who skipped homework but still managed to charm every teacher with a dazzling smile and a killer painting of a koi fish. We were close, or I thought we were. She ran into my room that day, waving her letter. Isla, U of T said yes. I jumped up and hugged her. We're going to be in the same city. I know, she beamed. But look, she handed me the envelope. I read it once, then again. We are pleased to award you the Chancellor's Merit Scholarship for academic and creative excellence. This covers full tuition, residence, books, and fees for 4 years. My stomach dropped. Wait, I said slowly. Full scholarship? Yeah, she grinned. I wasn't expecting it either. Crazy, right? I nodded mechanically, then checked my own email. Nothing. Just the generic admission. No merit award. No email from financial aid. No congratulations. I sat frozen at my desk, the hum of my laptop suddenly too loud. That night, I waited until everyone was asleep and quietly opened the university's financial portal again. Maybe I'd missed something. Nope. No scholarships awarded. No grants, no aid, nothing. I reread my application essay. It was strong, heartfelt. I even talked about Mom's breast cancer and how I juggled caregiving with academics. I'd had near-perfect marks. I'd led community cleanups, helped with the robotics club. What else had they wanted? What had Elle done that I hadn't? She hadn't even planned to apply to U of T until last minute. She missed half her deadlines. Her grades were good, but not stellar. She'd failed math in 10th grade. She hadn't even done her volunteer hours until the final semester. And yet, they gave her everything. I tried to be supportive. I tried to smile. But inside, a strange, bitter confusion started to grow. Was I less impressive than I thought? Had I been blind to my own weaknesses? Maybe I was just forgettable. I didn't bring it up to my parents for a few days. I hoped maybe a letter had been delayed, or the system was updating. But on Sunday morning, I finally said it over breakfast. I didn't get any scholarship offers, I said, trying to sound casual. My mom blinked. What? Are you sure? Yeah, I checked everything. No merit awards, no grants, just the admission. Dad put his coffee down. That's surprising. You're top of your class. I know. They both exchanged a glance. What? I asked. Nothing, Mom said quickly. We'll look into it. Maybe there's an appeal. But something about her voice was tight, too fast, too prepared. That night I snuck into the home office. I knew it was wrong. I knew it was invasive. But something wasn't sitting right. I checked the drawer where Dad kept financial documents, and that's when I saw it. a folder labeled UOFT, Scholarships. Inside were 2 printed letters. One was mine, one was Elle's. Both were from the university. Both congratulated the recipient on being awarded the Chancellor's Merit Scholarship. I froze. My hands shook. My name was on the letter, my name, and yet I never received it. The printed email was dated March 12th, more than a month ago, before Elle even got her admission letter, before she even applied. I flipped the page. There was a second letter, addressed to Elle, with no scholarship award. The date? April 3rd. My entire body went cold. I put everything back, sat in my room, stared at the ceiling, and then I realized the truth. They switched it. My parents intercepted the award, switched the names, reapplied under Elle's name, and now she had the scholarship, and I had nothing. I couldn't sleep. I kept remembering how Elle had said, I wasn't expecting it either, and wondered, had she known? Was she playing along? I wanted to scream, confront, demand answers, but something in me said wait. So I waited. I started watching, listening, and a week later I heard it. Mom was on the phone with Dad, standing just outside the laundry room. I still don't feel good about this, she said. What if Isla finds out? She won't, Dad replied. She's already accepted the rejection. Elle needed the leg up more. Isla will figure things out. She always does. Silence. Then, she'll forgive us eventually. I pressed my hand against my mouth to keep from making a sound. They didn't just steal my scholarship, they justified it. Because Elle needed it more. Because I'd always been the responsible one, the strong one, the one who would be fine. They robbed me because they thought I could take it. The next day, I didn't go to school. I went to the university, straight to the financial aid office. I told them my name, my ID, my acceptance, and I asked a single question. Was I awarded a scholarship? The woman typed for a moment, then nodded. Yes, you were awarded the Chancellor's Merit Scholarship. Congratulations. I stared at her. I never received that letter, I said. She frowned. It was emailed and mailed to your home address, March 12th. Can you resend it? I asked. She nodded and printed a fresh copy. I held it in my hands, proof. And now? Now I had a decision to make. I stared at the paper in my hand, the reprinted scholarship letter with my name on it. I hadn't imagined it. I hadn't made some mistake or misread the situation. They really had stolen it from me. My parents, the people who told me hard work always pays off, that honesty mattered, that we were a family that stuck together, except when they decided I could be sacrificed, all because Elle needed it more. When I got home, no one noticed the change in me. Elle was in the kitchen humming as she stirred hot chocolate. Mom was doing laundry. Dad wasn't home yet. It was the same house, the same rhythm, but everything was different. I walked into the kitchen and placed the letter gently on the counter in front of Elle. She looked down, read the heading. Her face went pale. You knew, I said softly. Her hands trembled. Isla, wait. You knew, I repeated. You lied to my face. No, I didn't know at first. I didn't see the letter until it was already sent back. Dad said you didn't need it, that you'd get something else. And you just accepted that. I didn't want to, she snapped, but they told me this was my only shot, that you'd be okay no matter what. You always are. I blinked at her, rage simmering beneath my skin. That doesn't make it right. Her voice dropped. You don't know what it's like being compared to you all the time. Every teacher, every relative. Why can't you be more like Isla? Why can't you get straight A's like Isla? I was drowning, and then for once they chose me. At that moment I saw her, not as the sister who'd stolen from me, but as the girl who'd grown up in my shadow. But understanding her pain didn't erase mine. You could have told the truth, I said. You could have stood up for me. She wiped her eyes. I was scared. I was too. And I had to find out from a university office. I picked up the letter and walked upstairs. That night, I couldn't sleep. Again. I kept thinking about how quiet Mom and Dad had been when I told them I hadn't gotten anything. How they never said, "That doesn't make sense." How they just nodded and moved on. Because they already knew. I needed answers. So the next morning, I waited until breakfast. I placed the letter on the table between them. No words, just silence. Mom was the first to speak. "Isla, we did what we thought was best." I raised my eyebrows. "For who?" "She needed this. I earned it." Dad sighed. "You're stronger. You've always been the strong one. Elle needed the boost. You could have applied for more aid, talked to the school, but instead, you stole my name, my future, and handed it to someone else." "It's all the same money," Dad said, as if that made it okay. "It stayed in the family." "It didn't stay in the family," I said. "It stayed with Elle, and I was left with nothing." Mom's eyes welled up. "You're our daughter. We love you. Then why didn't you trust me to handle the truth?" She didn't answer, because she couldn't. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just stood up, walked to the front door, and said, "I'll be staying with Aunt Miriam for a while." Their faces changed. "Isla," Dad said, "you don't have to do that." I turned around. "You made a decision without me. Now I'm making one without you." Aunt Miriam lived in a cozy 2-bedroom condo just outside the city. She was my mom's younger sister, a retired English teacher with a biting sense of humor and a freezer full of homemade lasagna. When I arrived at her door, she didn't ask questions, just hugged me and said, "You can have the guest room. Towels are in the closet." Later that night, after I told her everything, she poured us both tea and said simply, "That was betrayal, Isla. Don't sugarcoat it, but don't let it bury you either." I nodded, letting her words settle. "Do you want me to call the school?" she asked. "No," I said, "I already have a plan." The next day, I went back to the university with the letter in hand and told them everything. I explained how I never received my original award letter, that my sister did, that my parents had intercepted and rerouted the offer using my name and information. I expected disbelief, but the administrator didn't even blink. "You'd be surprised how often families try this," she said. "The important thing is we can fix it." I filed a report, submitted my ID, and had a statement notarized. 2 weeks later, I received an official email. "Your scholarship has been reinstated under your original application. Congratulations." Ella's offer was revoked, quietly, without fanfare. No investigation, no lawsuit, just a silent correction. I didn't gloat, I didn't call to rub it in, but when Elle messaged me, I lost it. They took it back. All I replied was, "It was never yours to begin with." She didn't respond. When fall came, I moved into my residence at U of T. I unpacked my books, set up my tiny corner of a shared dorm, lit a small candle from Aunt Miriam that smelled like peppermint and strength. I didn't hear from my parents for weeks, and honestly, I didn't miss them. In October, Mom sent a letter, a real one, handwritten. It started with apologies, promises that they'd meant well, that they hoped we could talk someday. I put it in a box. I wasn't ready, but I wasn't angry anymore. I was free, and I was finally living a life I had earned. Some people learn early that fairness doesn't always come with the grade or the title or the number on your transcript. Sometimes you have to fight for your name. Sometimes even the people who love you will choose someone else. But I learned something too. They chose Elle because they thought I wouldn't break. And they were right. I didn't break. I became someone who would never be overlooked again. Thank you for listening to The Story Voice. If this story moved you, inspired you, or made you think, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. And if you've got a story you think the world needs to hear, drop it in the comments. I might just tell it next. Until then, keep listening and keep feeling.